Hello. So you got only what, 160 reals, and you want to buy a phone that is not an unknown brand. What can you get? Okay, well, you can get this. This is the Lenovo A1000, pretty basic phone, but I'll go over the specs. It is a quad-core 1.3 with a strange manufacturer I've never heard of, Spreadtrum or something weird. 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of internal memory. It's dual SIM, 4-inch 480 by 800 WVGA screen, and this is what it looks like. This will be what, about 165 reals with shipping on souq.com. So is it any good? Well, look, it doesn't look very nice. You know, really, it is really pretty. You know, and a big, even if low spec, for me, if it looks nice, that is the big thing for me. But no, this is excuse me, pretty ugly looking phone. So what about the screen? Well, the screen's not bad. It's a TFT panel, so it's kind of reminiscent of these older smartphone screens. And also, I don't think it is one glass solution. It looks like there is, I'm looking here at the edge, it looks like there is a bit of gap between the digitizer and the screen below. But in all fairness, let me see what the brightness is. Brightness is nearly top, but in all fairness, it's not bad. So I can't complain about that. Call quality, well, I just made a quick call, and yeah, it was alright. Again, you know, whatever, if you can hear the person on the other side and they can hear you, then that is a good, you know, it works. Now, what I didn't check, and I'm going to look now, was what is the version of Android. Let me see. Hold on, no. Device information, Android 5, so it's Lollipop. What else can we say about this? Okay, well, something interesting that I did Antutu, and it got a better score than I expected, 20, but nearly 22,000. I was expecting it to be like 15, 16, something like that. So, you know, that was okay. It seems to, I wouldn't say that the screen is the most sensitive of touch screens, and it's, you know, if you're opening other apps quite quickly, it seems to be a wee bit sluggish. But again, it's 160 reals, so you know, you've really got to manage your expectations. I put the my trusty RH wired headphones with one song, and you know, look, actually it sounded okay, so I'm not going to comment about this. It was more than acceptable, but not like the recent Vivo X-Shot, or even that iPhone that iPhone's better than most stuff that phones that I've reviewed recently with the sound. So it was okay. The camera is, now get this, front camera is 0.3 megapixels. Whoa. And the rear camera is 5 megapixels, and it's got a wee flash there. So the camera is nothing spectacular, and don't expect that you're going to get beautiful portraits, but again, manage your expectations. It has a 2000 mAh battery, and I think I said dual SIM. So, you know, who would use it? Well, of course, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of money on a phone, then of course it's more than acceptable. It will come with a warranty. It's Lenovo. It feels pretty solid. You know, it's just not a particularly aesthetically pleasing phone, but you know, it feels pretty solid. So if you're really on a tight budget and you want an Android phone, yep, this could be for you. What about for your kids? It could be for your kids now with an Antutu score of 22,000. It's not going to be a gaming beast, but I suppose it'll play Temple Run and some other you know, games, maybe drop a few frames. So yeah, it could be you don't want your kid to have a particularly expensive phone. Yep, it could be for that. It could be for a second phone. You know, a lot of people like to have a second phone, especially where I am, because you know they may have a roaming sim of some sort, and they'll use their main phone for the local sim. So yeah, it could be easily for that. And also, just, you know, you could have it as an emergency phone in the car, whatever. It's just something that you would keep there. So, you know, I mean, look, it would have its uses. It's not the worst phone that I have seen. The screen is not the worst screen that I've seen. It's more than acceptable. But, you know, in these days of HD, full HD, 2K and 4K screens, you know, once you start going backwards, it's, you know, it gets more difficult to kind of see the attraction of it. So, again, I'm not putting down cheap phones. I like cheap phones. I just wish that some of these bigger companies would make cheap phones that have a wee bit of you know, thought about the design, or just make them a bit more pleasing to look at, because I mean this one just really is pretty gruesome. So I'm not going to go on too much about it, because there's really not much else to say about it. It is what it is. It's 165 reals with shipping, I suppose. Doesn't come with much bloatware. I just noticed some Lenovo stuff, Game Store, and something else, Guevara Music, never heard of it. So I mean, mostly these things you could get rid of. The Antutu score was pretty decent for, that was better than I expected. So you know, for the price, you're not worried about the looks, you're just worried about your budget. It really could be something that you would consider. For me, no, I would probably save up an extra month and maybe go for something, even, you know, looking at Inju phones. I'm sure there are a couple of Inju phones now around the 200 real mark, and you know, I like Inju. I think they make pretty decent phones, and they're a bit nicer looking than this. And it's not to say that I don't like Lenovo. Of course, Lenovo own Motorola, and Lenovo have some decent phones. I like them, and I love Lenovo laptops, so I ain't against Lenovo. This is just pretty boring to look at. So that's it, the Lenovo A1000. Any questions, any comments, just leave them at the bottom, and I will do my best to answer them in a, oh, something, hold on, let me see, oh, it's a video, in a timely fashion. Now, that video doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's alright. So, yeah, you could watch YouTube, maybe even a movie if you were travelling. Good travelling phone, yeah, just thought about that. Good travelling phone, if you don't mind if it got lost or got stolen. Yeah, okay. So, that's it. Thank you, and bye.